Hey guys, welcome back to another video where I go back and talk about the different BL series that I've been in. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Why Destiny. You don't know about Why Destiny? That's okay, you're probably not the only person. And that's not me bashing on it. I ain't talking smack about Why Destiny. It's just that, you know, maybe just not that many people know it. It's a BL with a couple for every day of the week. And that's not even a joke. That's the gimmick of the show. But I'll get more into that later. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I got the role, my experience being in the show, like before, during, after, and also why I think it wasn't really that popular. Before we start, I need to give you a little bit of backstory to put everything into context and kind of put it in a timeline. Now, I may get the timeline a little bit off, but it's not like Marvel where if you like mess up the timeline a little bit, all the fans are going to go nuts. It's not exactly the sequence of events. Just know that these things happen. In my previous video where I talked about my experience being on My Engineer, I discussed that there was a change in cast. So from the third generation to fourth generation, there was a long break in shooting. I believe it was during this time that Talay joined a series called YYY, where he was in a ship with Yun. That also had its own production issues, like they were supposed to start shooting and they didn't shoot and they ended up shooting it later. But it was actually on air after My Engineer. So My Engineer was on air, Perth Lay, and then YYY was on after that, which was Lay Yun, or Yun Lay. I don't remember. I feel like I probably should, but also it was almost 4 years ago now, which is a really long time. But what I'm trying to say is Talay had two ships going on at the same time, which was interesting. But actually, I watched YYY. I really think it was a series that was ahead of its time. It was kind of more about the comedy than about the BL. Very meta at times. At some points, kind of bizarre and like abstract in a way, because at that time, BLs was still very cookie cutter, and what I mean by that is a lot of the same stories. This was like still relatively in the early days of BL, like not super early, not like Soda's early, but like it wasn't like how it is now. And when I was watching it, I had this feeling that it was kind of not like a Western show. I feel like you didn't really see shows like that in Thailand at the time, especially in BL. There were a lot of gags, like really random and like weird ass gags. I actually found it quite entertaining. I kind of liked it. But the management that I was with at that time was the people who made My Engineer. And let's be honest, whilst BL is fun and all that, sorry, I'm just like, you know me. I don't want to misspeak or like have my words misinterpreted because I couldn't articulate myself properly. So I try to think and choose the best words when I'm talking about sensitive topics. What I'm saying is, you know, BL is a business, right? It's like that, you know, I mean, we could talk about that in another video if you want to. Let me know in the comments below. But, you know, BL is kind of like, it's a mixture between like being an actor and also being an idol. So what I'm saying is, from a business standpoint, it's not ideal for, I guess, an actor to have two ships going on at the same time, because like the fans, I guess, wouldn't exactly be torn. I'm all out of shape. This is how I feel. No, I'm just joking. I don't even know if I got the words right, but classic song. Flashbacks to One Direction on X Factor. That was a tangent if I ever heard one. Anyway, it's not ideal because, you know, fans of Talay, like, oh, like Talay's got two ships. Like, what do we do? Or like, you know, I guess like dividing fans, like anything that's like kind of controversial or divisive, I guess in the world of BL is like not particularly good. So yes, the management at the time, it's not like they weren't cool with it, but it's like they weren't like, oh yeah, this is fantastic. They were just kind of like, oh okay. But they couldn't do anything about it because the people who ended up making My Engineer weren't the people who made it before. They kind of like saved the project, but because Talay took the job in between projects, you know, he wasn't like doing anything that he's not allowed to do, and then they can't be like, you can't do that kind of thing. So, you know, it's all good. I'll be honest, like I was very new. And can I get real with you? Can I speak my feelings? Looking back on it, I remember I was very new to the world of BL and honestly really liked the story of My Engineer. And when we were shooting it, I thought that we had something good, and I think we did. And I honestly had some expectations, and you know, going into things with expectations isn't the greatest thing because, you know, you bear the risk of being disappointed. But yeah, I had some expectations, and I guess like, you know, the Perth Talay ship, because like, you know, I thought, you know, like we bros, we good friends. Like I really like working with Talay. Like, I don't know, I think the visual's pretty good. I don't know. It's a decision you can make, but I think it's pretty interesting. Anyway, and so I would be lying to you if I didn't say that I was a little bit worried that for some reason, if, for example, the Yun Talay or the Talay Yun, it's so disrespectful of me. I can't remember which one was first. I think it's like got to be Yun Talay, right? Like, if that ship got super duper popular, then obviously that would result in me being phased out, which would be like the natural progression of things, I guess. But that would also suck for me because, you know, I would be, I guess, disappointed because I had expectations, and also, you know, not having work, it's not fun. From that perspective, I did have my worries, kind of like the same way I'm worried about like surfing on the interwebs without proper protection. But thanks to today's sponsor, NordVPN, baby, you don't got nothing to worry about. Smooth. It was all right. Nah, but for real, I think you all know what a VPN is, but just in case you don't, let me talk to you about my favorite one, NordVPN. When you're browsing on the internet, there are very malicious people out there. Criminals, thieves, sometimes crazy people. And they're trying to steal your private information, especially when you're on public Wi-Fi. So I myself actually like to get a lot of my work done at cafes, sometimes the library. And when I'm there, I use the public Wi-Fi. And this is actually when you're most susceptible to getting that sweet private information stolen and used against you. You know, kind of like a form of kung fu where they take your energy, but in this case, it's all your private information and they do bad things with it. But what NordVPN does, it encrypts all the information coming in and out of your computer, which makes it incredibly difficult to steal. I'm not going to push you guys a product that I think is trash. NordVPN is the bomb, and I use it a lot in my everyday life. So the thing is, since I've moved to Japan, a lot of my streaming services have changed from places I've previously lived, from like Australia, from Thailand to Japan. See, the problem is sometimes when I'm watching things, they don't have English subtitles. So I'll be like halfway through a series watching it in English subs because I'm in Japan now. I'll turn it on and then it only has Japanese subs, and I'll be like, my subs. With NordVPN, one click of a button, you can change the geographical location and it switches right back. And also sometimes when you change the geographical location, it can also expand your streaming catalog and give you access to TV shows that weren't previously available to you before. Also, one VPN account can be used on up to 6 devices. So I personally use it on my computer, my iPad, and my phone. And if I had 3 more devices, I could use it on those as well. If you use my special link down in the description below, or you use my special code Perth at the checkout, you get a huge discount on your NordVPN subscription. And also NordVPN has a special campaign going on at the moment. For every purchase of a 2-year NordVPN plan, you get 4 bonus months on top, and also a 20 gigabyte Saily voucher. Just in case you don't know what Saily is a service app brought to you by the people at Nord Security. If you don't know what eSIM is, it's like a SIM card that you can use in your phone, except you don't actually need to buy the card and put it into your phone. Everything can be done online. You only need to download it once and it can be used in every country across the world, which is really great because you don't need to download a new eSIM for every single country you go to. I myself have been traveling to a few different countries recently, and usually the thing a lot of people do is they buy a SIM card when they get to the airport. Those are a huge ripoff, and also there's usually a really long line, and you can avoid all of that with Saily. So to use Saily, you just download the app, sign up, and now you can use internet from wherever you are across the world. Also, all Saily eSIM plans are available for Android and iPhone. But anyway, it turns out the whole double ship thing wasn't a big deal at all that I know of. So that was great. Now that you know the backstory, we can talk about how I actually got the role. So after my engineer was finished, Talay and I spent a lot of time together in Talay's car because we had rehearsals for things, we had work together. I didn't have a car, I live kind of far away, and Talay was like, you can come with me. And I was like, awesome. One more vital piece of information. YYY was directed by a director called Shiwin, or in this case, P. Shiwin, because, you know, he's older than me. And one day in the car, Talay was like, hey, P. Shiwin has a role for you in this new series that I'm going to be in. And I was like, what? For me? And then Talay was like, yeah, you die. And I was like, all right. And he was like, no, but like, you die, but you're like a hero. And I was like, me, a hero? I don't like the sound of that. Talay mentioned that to me in the car a few times. He gave me a basic rundown of the plot, which was that Talay's character, my character, were once a couple. I die, and then in the end, Talay's character ends up with Yun's character. And that's a very, very crude breakdown of the story. It's a little bit more deep than that, but that's kind of like the idea. Backtracking to the whole like double ship thing. You know, like there was like a part that was kind of like, wait a minute, I die, and then you Talay Yun, and then also management at the time was kind of like not that cool about it, but also I am an actor. Some even consider actors to be artistes, and I just want to work. And actually the story sounded quite interesting, so I was like, I'm kind of up for anything. I was a little bit concerned that actually management was going to be like, yeah, nah, we're not going to let you do that. If they want to do that, they can find someone else to do that. And I think they might have been like that at first. And that's, to be honest, also going off on another tangent. Kind of the lame part about acting and being under management is that you're not 100% in control of your own future and your work-related decisions. Now, you can say no to things, because no one can make you do anything you don't want to do unless you've signed a contract and you have contractual obligations. But the thing is, like, when you sign with a company, if you want to do something but they don't want you to do it, essentially they have the final say. And had they have been like, no, you're not doing it, I wouldn't be able to do it. But actually they were cool enough to be like, yeah, all right, you can do it. So I did it. And honestly, it was a really interesting experience. I don't know if this has happened anywhere else before in the world of BL, where you have two already established ships come together and actually be in the same TV series. And not just as actors, but actually have some kind of like romantic relationship between three people. I don't know if that's happened before, and I don't know if that's happened since. So just from, you know, doing new things standpoint, I thought that was actually pretty cool. So like I said before in Why Destiny, the gimmick of the show, actually there were a few gimmicks. The first gimmick of the show was that there are 7 stories and there is a different couple for every day of the week, and one person from each couple is actually named after the day of the week. For example, I think in Monday, the guy was called like Man. No, he wasn't called Man. Wanjan. Okay, dude, honestly, I can't remember the names of the characters. I'll be honest, I was in the show and it was cool being a part of the show. It's not really like, I don't have a great recollection of the events, but anyway, one character from each of the couples is named after that particular day of the week, and they all have their own separate story, but they exist in the same universe. I mean, it's not like a multiverse thing. Even though each couple has their own story, you might see characters from other stories pop up in each other's stories and vice versa kind of thing. The second gimmick was that each person has a different color. Like, we have our own personal colors with like doing a Power Rangers kind of vibe thing. So Talei's was blue, mine was gray, and Yun's was pink. And then, you know, other people like red, yellow, whatever. And actually, it's kind of funny because obviously all the couples get together by the end of the show. And in the very last episode, I believe that everyone has swapped colors, or they have their couple's color like somewhere on them or whatever. Except for me, because I'm a ghost. Did I mention I die? Sorry. I'm actually a ghost in the last episode, which is kind of funny. I'm just kind of like hovering around. Just looking back on it, like I remember shooting it just being like I probably don't even need to be here. Like they're probably just being nice by like including me in the last episode so I don't feel like left out, which is very nice of them. I'm happy to get paid for an extra episode. I actually saw someone like ask recently about how actors get paid. It depends, but if you're like a regular in the series, you get paid usually per episode. So even if you just appear in an episode for like one line, that's one episode's pay, which is pretty cool. So yeah, happy with extra pay. It's nice. So obviously, like I said, a few gimmicks on the show. Because there were like 7 couples plus the thruple, there were 15 actors altogether. So we started workshops very early for this show, doing workshops twice a week for like quite a long time. I want to say they were like 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours per workshop. I can't remember, but it went on for a really long time. So during workshops, you know, a lot of chemistry, making new friends. It was kind of scary for me because coming off of my engineer, I was getting better at Thai, but I still wasn't that confident, and meeting a whole bunch of people at once, or someone who's like slightly introverted, is quite scary. But there are actually a few English speakers. I got this guy named Jarf speaks English, so we got to be really good friends, and he's a really nice guy. We still talk every now and then. He's in America now. He was in the Sunday story, or was it Saturday? See, this is what I'm talking about. Maybe no, it was the Saturday story. It was the Saturday story. I'm actually very, very grateful that we did all of those workshops. See, the funny thing is, because it's still a regular 14 episode series, most series, TV series in Thailand or BLs have 14 episodes. I think Why Destiny had 15 because there was the final episode. 2 episodes per couple, which is 14 episodes plus the final episode where everyone's in it together. 2 episodes like isn't long, and like it doesn't take that long to shoot, you know, 2 episodes honestly, but even though the time was so short, we had a lot of workshops, and that could possibly have been because there are a lot of first-time actors in the show. Almost all of the ships on the show were new, except for me, Talay, Yun, and also Max and Nut. I think they were established as a couple in Why Are You, and they're like still going on strong now, which is really cool. Really nice people. I really enjoyed working with them. You know, with everyone, but when you work in as a cast of 15 people, it's kind of hard to be like decent friends with like everyone because there's just so many people. It's like it's hard to like talk to everyone. Anyway, very, very extensive. This is like the 4th time I've said it because I can't stick to one topic. Extensive workshops, and this was by far the most I felt I was prepared for a role ever. We had been doing them for so long and the shooting time was so short. I was just like, dude, I got this. And I did have it. I think I did pretty good. I think like my performance was like solid. Honestly, it wasn't like that long. I did enjoy shooting my scenes that I actually remember about the show. One of the things I really like about Pishi Win, the director. So he's gone on to direct many things. He was the director of Why Are You? I think he was director of Lovesick back in the day. Why Destiny, War of Why, a bunch. He has really good wardrobes. He is very particular about costumes. If you're in one of his series, he gets you dressed up nice. Now, the thing about being dressed up nice is usually being dressed up nice equals a lot of layers: shirts, t-shirts, jackets, long pants, shoes. Thailand is hot, is really hot all the time. And when you're shooting TV series, a lot of the time you can't have the air conditioner on because the air conditioner sound will go into the microphone, which screws up with the audio. So sometimes when we shoot, you got to turn the air conditioner off. And when you're shooting in Thailand with multiple layers, it's just hot and disgusting. In my particular case, I was wearing gray, and you can see sweat on gray clothes. So that was a pain in the ass for me because sweat patches like started to appear. It's nothing wrong with having sweat patches, but it messes up continuity because if in the previous scene you have sweat and then in the next scene all your sweat is gone, it's kind of like, what happened to the sweat? So I had 2 different shirts and they would like take one off and like dry it, and then I'd wear the other one and then sweat, and then would kind of like rotate back and forth between the 2 shirts, which was kind of funny and also kind of annoying, but it was worth it because like the costumes were pretty cool. I don't know why I keep brushing over this. My death scene, I did die in the show, and it kind of became a recurring theme because I ended up dying again in Kim Porsche. But this was the first time I died in a BL series. I actually died from smoke inhalation in a movie theater. That was really interesting to shoot. Actually, one interesting fact about that is we only shot it 2 times. Got on my 2nd try. The first time I shot it was like really funny because it's like, obviously I've never died before. I was really looking forward to shooting the scene, but the first time I shot it, I think everybody started laughing because I did something really stupid because so I was like coughing, and then I like died and like went flat like on the ground. They were giving me directions, but I'm pretty sure I misheard. I don't know what I heard. So I had already died, but then I kind of just like got up again, and then everyone started laughing. Everyone was like, why are you getting up? And I was like, didn't he say this? And they're like, no. I was like, oh, okay, shit, sorry, let's do it again. But that was really fun to shoot. Apparently it became quite a meme, especially amongst my fandom. I enjoyed that a lot. The actual place where we shot it, it was legit like an abandoned derelict, just really shitty, dirty, old abandoned cinema, and it was hot in there. It was hot for real. No actual fire, of course, but you know, they're like smoke machines and stuff, and it was pretty cool because, you know, I saved this little kid. Well, not me, I mean, well, the character did. I guess technically I did as well, but yeah, that was a kind of really fun story arc for the character because my character T, how far are we into the video? I haven't even said the character's name. My character's name is called T. I really like the character because he's just like the greatest guy of all time. He's just like nice guy, does the right thing, and it's just awesome. So that was fun to play. I did enjoy playing that character as well. And also, oh my god, I almost forgot to mention this. I dyed my hair for this role, and it's the first and only time I've ever dyed my hair in my entire life. I actually dyed my hair medium shade of brown. I remember when Pishi, when the director asked, he's like, hey, can we dye your hair? And I was like, dude, you can do whatever you want. The thing is, I would never dye my hair in real life, but if I have to dye my hair for like a project, for like shooting something, of course I'm going to do it because, you know, trying different hair colors is fun. So yeah, dyeing my hair was brown. So my hair was brown for a while. So that was actually pretty cool. Almost forgot about that. I probably wouldn't dye my hair again. Not because like I didn't like it. Like it was cool, but I don't know. I guess I like black, I guess. Also, like, it damages your hair and stuff like that. I didn't enjoy that. Not that my hair was super damaged, but it took a while for it to come back to normal. And I don't like it when it's like kind of like 2 colors at the same time. Looks weird. to me. But yeah, that was another cool experience that I got to get from shooting My Destiny. That was really cool. But yeah, honestly, like I was on set for 5 days, but the actual time I was shooting in front of the camera, I don't know, dude, maybe like 10 to 12 hours, maybe. Like it really wasn't that long. It really wasn't that long. There was one scene that actually got cut out, and it's fine if I talk about it because we shot it, but it just got cut out. It's kind of weird, but also kind of funny and kind of nice. I can't remember if they cut out the whole thing or they just cut out the part that I shot, but like there was a scene at the end of Masuk, which is Talei's character, and Hiejia, who is Yun's character, after the kind of story has been resolved and they're like a couple now. They're a couple, but they're still kind of like, Talei's character is still thinking about my character and Yun's character is like, you know, very accepting of that, and he's like, I understand, like he's a big part of your past and we're not gonna like, you know, just like cut him out and pretend he didn't exist kind of thing. I think Talei is sleeping on his bed and Yun's character is sleeping on the floor, and they kind of obviously like they want to sleep together in the same bed, but there's just, you know, a bit of like not awkwardness, but you know, they kind of like don't feel like they don't want to move too fast maybe kind of thing. And my character appears as a ghost, so I whisper it to Talei's character in his ear. I say like, you know, it's fine, I was like, just invite him up onto the bed, like it's cool, like I'm cool with it kind of thing, like, you know, it's not a big deal, let's just, you know, whatever. And then my character goes to Yun's character and says like, you know, you should like get on the bed, it's fine, like don't worry about me kind of thing. I guess I'm like Cupid now. So anyway, we shot that scene, it got cut. I guess it's kind of better that it got cut. It was kind of weird, like it was like to come back from heaven, seventh heaven, no, to come back from heaven and just be like, it's fine, you guys should like totally hook up because I'm cool with it. Like, I don't know. It was just kind of weird. Like the sentiment of it, honestly, was really nice, but it was kind of weird. So yeah, that was like some funny shit that happened on set that like immediately comes to mind. Now, let us talk about post Why Destiny and why I guess not a lot of people watched it back in the day and not a lot of people know about it now. In my, like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe heaps of people know about it. Maybe heaps of people watched it. I just don't think so. But there are a few things that I think might have attributed to it not perhaps performing the best it could have been, or there are things that I think that could have been changed that could have helped it do a little bit better. So I did mention before that there are 7 couples on the show and each couple only gets 2 episodes to show their whole kind of arc, the story, their character arc or whatever. It's not enough. Like, honestly, it's not enough. I feel like even 3 episodes, like, you know, if you had 3 episodes, you could probably do a little bit more with that, but 2 is too short. It wasn't enough. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just saying, like, it takes time for the viewer to learn about the character and kind of form a connection with the character. And I just think 2 episodes is not ideal to get that to happen. And honestly, there were some really good stories in there. The Saturday story was like, one guy picks on another guy for being fat when they're young, and then suddenly the kid is like in his like adult body and he meets this hot guy, and it turns out that's the guy he used to bully when they were younger. So that was like a kind of cool story. The story with Mitale and Yun, I actually think is like a pretty good story. Probably the best one. Not just because I'm in it. But I think if that was like fleshed out into like, you know, 5 to 6 episodes, that could have been really, really good. The problem is when you only have 2 episodes, it's not just you don't have enough time to form a connection, but you kind of have to speed everything up. You don't really have time to flesh out like emotions, relationships, and tell a story. I mean, I think the way they were directed, they were easily digestible, but everything just happened too quickly, in my opinion. By the way, guys, this is just all my opinion. Like, if I had to say why, these are the reasons why I would say why. But I think, yeah, that was like one of the things. And I think, unfortunately, like, it's a shame because, like, also, like I said before, we also did all those workshops for a really long time, so everyone had a good understanding of the characters. I think if we had more time, I mean, each one could have been made into like, you know, a 6-episode series, and that would have been crazy. But yeah, I think that's one of the reasons, just not enough time. Also, like I said, 7 couples, like, it's a lot of couples, dude. Like, it's a lot of people to focus on. Up until now, I think I would say that max like 4. I feel like maximum 4. I mean, my engineer had 4, but I feel like lately all the different couples got a lot of attention. Like 3. Cutie Pie had 3. Kim Porsche also had 3, and they performed like relatively well. I think 3 might be the magic number, but 7, dude, nah. It ain't gonna work. It's just too much going on at the same time, like too much to focus on. Like, it ain't gonna work. But if I may not contradict myself, but if I may like defend the point I just made, one thing that's really nice about Pishiwin, and this is talking about him as a person, is he really enjoys working with new talent and giving people opportunities. And I think that's really, really nice because it's really hard to get a foot in the door in the entertainment industry. And you can be like I said in previous videos, you can be like the best actor in the world, but if no one's giving you a chance, then you know, you're not going to get any work. So I think that's really cool that he gives a lot of people a chance. But the thing is, like, it's just too much going on, too many people in one thing. And I think that's a reflection of other series that he's done before, like World of Y. I think other series that he did, like Playboy. Every series that he does has like a bajillion couples, and it's just, you can't tell one good love story. I feel like if there's like 7 intertwining love stories going on at the same time, it's just, you don't get that sense of fulfillment after following these characters, because you don't follow them for long enough, and there's just too many. I really think if he just chose like 1 or 2 characters and really focus on them and gave time to flesh them out, then I think the story would also be better, and I think perhaps the reception to the series could be a lot better, because he's a very fantastic director. Like, one thing that I said before, that the costumes are fantastic, not just costumes, I think he has really beautiful direction, like the way the scenes are shot, different motifs and stuff that he uses, like they look really nice, but they sometimes just feel a little bit empty at times from a like emotional or story perspective. But you know, that's also it's subjective, but that's just my opinion. Sorry. It's a meme. Another reason I think is that when it was on air, it was like the most awkward thing to watch, because like in Thailand, it was on AIS Play, which was free to watch, but it's just like no one's on AIS Play. I don't know if people are on it now. AIS, by the way, is a mobile phone service provider in Thailand. It's free to watch, but you have to like download an app, and it's like every time you put up like walls to like access, when you make things like more annoying, that slight inconvenience, people are just gonna be like, nah. So like, even actually with My Engineer, WeTV in Thailand is a huge thing now, and also in a few other countries. But when My Engineer was on WeTV, there was like nothing on WeTV. Like, there's like no BL on WeTV. Everyone's like, where can we watch it? And we'd be like, WeTV, and they'll be like, what the hell is that? And we'd be like, you don't know WeTV? Even though it was like completely free, to get people on a new platform is quite difficult. It's like a similar thing with social media. Like, for example, if you have like 2 million followers on Instagram and you say, I made a YouTube channel, please subscribe, you got to get them from Instagram to YouTube, and the actual like transfer of people is a lot smaller than you would think. So to get people to be like, hey, it's free, but download AIS Play and please watch our new series, it's quite difficult. And I think that was one contributing factor. Also, it was very hard for interfans to access it at the time as well. It was so weird. I believe you had a 3-hour window to watch it on YouTube for free. The show, one episode was like 50 minutes, and you had a 3-hour window to watch it. So if you started watching it and it's 30 minutes before the end of that window, you couldn't watch the end of the episode because it would disappear after that. It was like the weirdest thing. They should have just put it up and just left it up. I believe now it's available to watch for free on YouTube. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. If I am correct, I'll put a link somewhere. You know, if anything I've said about this series is interesting, then go and check it out. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, if you're a fan of mine, definitely watch the one I'm in. It's just a little, like I said, it's only 2 episodes. It's the Friday story. It's pretty nice. The acting is really solid. Yeah, Mitale and Yun. I think we killed that. I think we performed quite well. Please don't be put off by anything else that I've said. Although I haven't painted it in a particularly negative light, I feel like. It's not bad. No way is it bad. But one thing is that when you're involved in a series and you see all the work that everyone's putting in and you're putting in all this work, it's very easy to be like, I think this is pretty good. And when you look at it in retrospect, you're like, it was alright. That being said, when I was working on Cutie Pie and Kim Porsche, this is for the Cutie Pie and Kim Porsche videos, but when I was actually like involved with it and shooting it, I was like, I think this is gonna be good. And they were. But, you know, sometimes you know and sometimes you don't. And in this case, it was solid. But anyway, yeah, making things difficult to access for viewers is like the easiest way to kill any hype around anything that you're doing, especially a TV series or anything like that. So yeah, that was a big lesson for me. I mean, I learned it from WeTV already. Actually, when I found out it was going to be on AS Play, I was like, you gotta be shitting me! Just because I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, we're going to go on another platform that nobody knows about. We're going to be like the first thing on the platform. But I think there are a lot more things on there now. A lot more people watch it now. Why Disney wasn't responsible for that, but it's kind of cool that it's like always there. Yeah, but honestly, it was a really fun project to be a part of. I had a really good time working with Pishuin as a director. Really nice guy to work with. And also because at that time, I'd only worked with one director who was the director of My Engineer. So it was kind of cool to like get new experiences as an actor. It was very fulfilling and educational experience as an actor. This is not me just trying to like make it sound like a really positive experience. It was a positive experience, no negatives from it. Made a lot of good friends, and you know, like as an actor, actor, I guess I've been kind of lucky. I've only been in 4 BLs. 2 of them were like redonkulously popular. One was quite popular and the other one just like kind of wasn't. Like if something isn't popular, it doesn't mean that it's not good, because that would be a very bad way to evaluate anything really. Popularity doesn't equal good, as we have found out with many different movies and TV shows. But also for me at that time, because I was acting with Talay again and we had good chemistry on My Engineer, it was pretty chill for me to act with Talay again. I wouldn't say like it wasn't hard, but it was like a familiar feeling to act with someone who I'd acted with again. So that was like good for me, like familiarity. I can't say the word. What the hell is going on? Familiarity in a new working environment, because Talay had worked with P. Win before, obviously, like I said, on YYY. So it was like me coming into this new environment. That was cool. I enjoyed it. And we got to do some cool like promotional work after. And also as an actor, getting work, like I said, is pretty tough, and to have relatively consistent work, I'm always grateful for. So yeah. Why Destiny? You a real one. Nah, but like, I don't know. Like it was good. It was good. What I'm saying, it was good. Yeah. So if you happen to be one of the people who is a fan of Why Destiny, or you did watch it and you have some feelings about it, do let me know in the comment section below. I would like to hear about it, because I don't really meet many people who have watched it, so that would be kind of cool. Just like in the My Engineer video, I made a post on my Discord server asking people for any questions that they had about Why Destiny. So I answered questions such as, what did it feel like being carried up and down stairs in a stretcher? By the way, this is in reference to my death scene, and I'm supposed to play a corpse. Unfortunately, thoughts/feelings on the relationship dynamic, the thruple triad with me, Lei, and Yun. Yeah, I do have some more feelings about that. Since you and Talay were shipped at this point, did it ever feel like this was a step forward for your career as an individual or a step back as a pair? That's an interesting question, and I answer all of them in a Q&A video over on my Patreon. So I've put a link down in the description below if you're interested in some more Why Destiny behind the scenes content. I don't just have BL Q&A content over on Patreon. I post monthly content, so there's a bunch of other videos on there, such as my skincare video, other snack videos, gaming videos, and stuff like that. So if you're interested, go and check it out. Thank you very much for watching another look back on my career as a BL actor. This month was Why Destiny. Next month will be Cutie Pie, and the next month will be the final one, which is Kin Porsche. Be on the lookout for those two coming very, very soon. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.